Hi writers, so today's video in the Let's Write series is going to be about how to develop and write a short story with dimension and originality super quickly. So this video is going to be part one of a two video set. In this video we're going to talk about really just how to develop a short story, develop an idea for one, and then in the second video I'm actually going to write a short story based on this plan, and I'll do it in real time so you'll get to see it. So let's get right to um, an idea or way to develop your ideas for a short story. And so these are the steps here. And then what we'll do is we'll go through and take each step and apply it to a possible short story. All right, so first thing is to consider two opposite concepts, objects, roles, types of people, professions, etc. And random works too. If you want to just use random instead of opposite, that can work too. And remember, we're going to go through each of these and so you can see how this actually works for an actual story. Second is to throw in a random object, person, whatever. Third is to see the two opposites together in your head and think about what images you see and in what capacity you're together, so you're just kind of visualizing there. Next, you place the random object or person in that scene and you think about what purpose it serves to the story. Then record images now with all three entities. That would be the two opposite concepts or the two random concepts and then the third random object concept, whatever. And then last, you string these images together somehow into a story with a beginning, middle, and end. All right, so I'm going through this introduction quickly because right now it's just, words on a page, a step, but it means more when you actually see it in action and when you can do it along with me. So let's do that now. All right, so first step. Consider two opposite concepts, objects, roles, types of people, professions, etc. And random works too. So we'll look at it both ways. But the reason why I like the idea of using opposites is because you get a natural conflict when you put two opposites together. So when I think of opposite concepts, I may say something like religion and I don't know, what's the opposite of religion? Or even better, I'd say religious versus profane, maybe. So in that way, types of people, professions, what would be opposite? So we may say, what if we had a nun and a prostitute? Or what if we had a priest and a prostitute? Okay, so I like this use of, or prostitute, not prostitute, but a prostitute. And I like this use of opposites here because it's there's a natural, if you have a short story and these two entities are together, it's like, why would they be together? So I'm trying to think of another opposite. Maybe if we had the sports world. So if we had like an athlete, and if we had, what would be the kind of opposite for an athlete? Okay, let's go really extreme. What if we had a world-class uh, basketball player, I guess, I don't know, basketball player, and what would be kind of a quote-unquote opposite or something unexpected that wouldn't think would go together? And I'm actually thinking in real time too. The thinking process isn't necessarily one that's straightforward either. So I just want people who are watching this to see it all happen in real time and just make my thinking process public. So basketball player, world class. Okay, so I'm thinking someone who has a lot of money, someone who has a lot of fame. Um, what if we had him with someone who was wheelchair bound and impoverished? And there are other opposites that could go. There's not really necessarily an opposite to the sports world. Maybe the tech world or something like that. But that's just not as interesting to me. You know, a techie versus a basketball player, you know, b-baller. That's not as moving to me. I'm not as moved by that. Um, so yeah, I'm thinking about, you know, this idea of physical strength versus physical weakness, um, financial strength versus financial weakness. Um, ooh, again, opposites. What if we had the most popular person in school and the least popular? And you know that movie did that. She's All That. That's what's that other movie? Can't Buy Me Love. So these are films. You know, this is a pretty popular concept here, but you could take it to. I'm trying to think of one more. Even types of people. If we have um, a type A woman, and let's see, um, a monk. I don't know, or you know, a cowboy. Someone really relaxed, something like that. Now, this could also work with random. So if I were to just pick random people, what if I said, what was that movie? The one where it's like Save the Cheerleader, Save the World. It was a show, it was a TV show, Heroes. It had these random people and it showed how they all connected. I like that idea. And so if we were to take, um, let's see, what's something random? Let's say a cheerleader. And let's say, what's something else really random? Grocery store clerk. Okay. Let's do one more just random fireman. And let's say, what's something totally random? I was going to say like a crossing guard, but they're both still kind of public servants. So um, let's say Wall Street giant, someone who's really big on Wall Street, something like that. So yeah, so that's random. So out of all of these, the one that I like the most is the priest and the prostitute, just because, you know, religion, I guess religious versus sex, something like that. Um, you know, saint versus sinner, that kind of thing. And next, throw in a random object or person. So a random object to me may be, I don't know, we could use a crucifix, even though I know that's related to you know, the priest. But or that's the first person you think of it being related to. We could have a dog. We could have um, a letter. We could have a book. So, out of these, which of these speaks most at the moment? I'm thinking the letter. Okay, so those are my three things so far. Next up, see the two opposites in your head together. What images do you see and what capacity are they together? I see the prostitute in the dark on the street, and I see the priest there too. So, priest is there too. Or wait, the next place I see them though is in his office. She's, you know, the prostitute. I'm just gonna say prostitute is in priest's office, looking around as he observes her, and you know she's kind of, you know, she's suspicious of him, um, but you know they're in his office together. I see that. So that's how I see them together. Why is all this happening? It doesn't matter yet, but these are just things that I see. You may see something totally different, and that's fine. Um, Now, place a random object, person, whatever in that scene. What purpose does it serve? Okay, so I chose the letter, right? And let's see, the letter is in the office. It wouldn't really make sense for it to be out in the street, right? So the letter's in the office, and what purpose does it serve? Maybe the prostitute is giving the letter to the priest. Or maybe the priest is giving the letter to the prostitute. So yeah, so maybe there is a message that um, the that one is supposed to give to the other some kind of way. And the question is, how are these people from these two totally different worlds? How are they connected? Um, and maybe that letter is what's connecting them. Okay, so now record images with all three entities, that being the prostitute, the priest, and the letter. And the things that I see the priest giving the letter to the prostitute. And I see her, she's really tough at first. And the priest is a good guy. I see him being a good guy. And what I see is after she reads the letter, I see convulsive sobs. And I see her wearing a cheap fur jacket, black tights and black heels. And for some reason, her getting this letter is a big thing for her. And I would like to make it big for him too in some kind of way. I'm not sure how, but that's the thing. She's going to get a letter and it's going to change her in some way. Now, string these images together into a story with beginning, middle, and end. I am a proponent of just going to a story, but having this as enough of an outline. So in the beginning, let's see, prostitute is on the street. Priest picks her up, asks for her specifically. In the middle is when both are in the office. They talk. There's a lot of dialogue here. Learn more about each character here. And we get to see kind of the essence of both of them in how they relate to each other. And then in the end, oh yeah, and then of course, he gives her the letter, and then the prostitute, I want her to emerge. Prostitute emerges better for having received the letter. Who is it from? What is it? Who knows? But I like just starting from here. And here, if you want to outline more and if you want to think more about it, go for it. But this to me is enough to at least get going, and then just to have a really, really rough draft. So in my next video, I'm going to actually write the story in real time. So it's probably, definitely going to be longer than this one. Yep. So I hope that this is helpful as you consider short story ideas, and happy writing.